All right, everybody, welcome to my first attempt at recording some live trading. Do keep in mind this is a voiceover. I did not record the audio in real time, so I'm simply doing a trade recap. Today we had GDP numbers that came out and pretty much was the market mover to push us up today. And I took 4 trades today, 2 winners, 2 losses, and the only reason that they were losses was largely because I placed my stops too early or at the wrong side of the range. So that is what it is, but let's get right into the commentary. So I will have all of the trade times annotated below as well if you just want to jump to those. But we're starting to push up here, and clearly we're moving towards the high end of the volume profile. Mind you, as we're pushing up, I'm short the entire way in my mind. And I actually will chart out the top of this range here as we sweep up. But we do have some strength. Buyers are pushing up here. And in my opinion, I think these are all just stop runs to grab some liquidity, because you'll notice at the 6 a.m. we had strong resistance in this area, which is towards the left of your screen. And here we are right now, a few hours later, looking the same in terms of resistance. So got my finger on the trigger for the sell market. I'm going to chart the top end of this range here pretty soon just to have an idea of where I want to put my stops, as well as sort of a take profit target as well. Now, of course, these are all taken pre-market. I'm in Eastern time, so if that helps you guys, there you go. And mind you, I'm copy trading 9 accounts across Apex, just swinging 1 lots. So nothing too crazy. Still bearish on everything. Now we're starting to pump up above those highs, which is where I think we're rating some stops. We chart this puppy out. Okay. Now I want to see a close below that line, or at least another strong pump up. Okay, pulling back down, looking good. There's that quick little pump. You can do a little wick test, pull back down. And I should be getting short right there, but here's the problem. I set my stop too quick. And we're stopped out. Nothing you can do about that. But the sentiment is still the same. We could be bearish even though those stops get rated. So I wasn't afraid of getting back into this position at all, because we had an immediate rejection off that high of the volume profile. Short back again right there. Place my stop right at the top of the range. And give myself a little leeway with this stop, just in case I wanted to run back up there. But we're going to start to get some seller pressure to push this thing back on down. Going to set my take profit right about where this imbalance is on the buy side right there. There we go. So now we're starting to get a nice little pump back down, but I know that we always retest the top end. So moving my stop down, not nervous about exiting the position at all. Buyers are starting to stall. Sellers are really putting up a wall there to keep this thing pushing shorter. So NQ has this thing where it loves to just run and then rip the other way before your take profit. Obviously, that's not true, but it's just happened to me way too many times. So I actually exit my positions a little earlier just to give myself some safety and some cushion on all of this. So you see I got my finger on the trigger in the top left for the exit and cancel. Buyers did put up a fight, though, that's for sure. But again, calm and cool. The sentiment is the same. Starting to push ourselves back down now. Next candle's about to open. Now we start to get ourselves a good little push. Coming right down. Right into that imbalance here, and I exit the trade. Give myself a nice little $100 cushion to start the day on that one. So good overall right there. And let's get into the next trade now. All right, so here is trade number 2. You're about to see the second loss of the morning. Again, had the right sentiment and then got stopped out. So we'll let this one play through pretty quick. And again, I have all the trade times annotated below. So had my target set at such an obvious place. I should have placed it a little bit higher, but we do get somewhat of a pump. Stops me out. And there it goes. Notice it is what it is. Took away pretty much a majority of the gains, but nothing you could do about that. Hey, got to keep your head in the game, but the sentiment is still the same. You'll notice we cannot hold above this range. The sellers are just too strong this early in the market, and we want to keep our wits about us with how this trade rolls on. So you'll notice finger on the trigger. We're still ready to roll with getting in the shorts because of how these wicks are looking and where we are at the volume profile. We cannot push above. There's no pump, but also look at the MACD, my friends. MACD is showing us weakness. So this is just pumping, grabbing liquidity, running stops, whatever conspiracy you want to throw at it, that's fine. But the MACD signal line is telling me we are still in a downtrend, even though we're moving up. So what this tells me is we are simply all about timing here. We want to make sure that our entries are as precise as possible and our stops leave us enough room to where we can let the trade run out, play out to our exact take profit. So you'll notice still waiting. Sentiment is there still. Sellers are strong on this candle. We're not really getting any sort of push up or anything at this point. You'll notice the volume on the MACD is still pushing itself down. So my thought is, looking at this range with where we are, the second we close back in that range next to this green candle here, I want to get in the shorts. Nice rejection, waiting for a little push up, push back down here. It's all about patience with NQ, even though it does move fast, oddly enough. There we go. So now we're short. Placing the stop loss at the top of this range of the volume profile. Going to set the take profit just above that last EMA. We've already had a couple tests of the top two EMAs, so we want to make sure that we get our run at least down to the last one here. And this was a trade that I really had to let run out and let this trade breathe for it to really come to fruition. Notice the buyers are doing everything they can, but the sellers just come in too strong. Sentiment is still there. Got a nice close on that one. Here come the sellers again. Really just absorbing all of those buyers that are trapped up there. Now we're starting to come back into that range. The trade is virtually break even. Now we're starting to get a nice little push down. We can move the stop. MACD is really starting to separate itself now on that signal line on the bottom, really starting to push down below the price line. So we already know that seller momentum is moving faster than what the price is telling us, which gives us confidence in this trade to stay where we need to be. And this also gives you the confidence of keeping your head level while trading smaller size. You can let a smaller trade size run a little bit longer, obviously, but if you're trying to swing big size to make these quick scalps, which again, I am guilty of as well, you're going to have a shorter trading day than most. You know, some of these trades taking me 5-6 minutes, whereas my longest trades were usually 40 seconds, if that. So size down, guys. Do what you can to stay comfortable within your trades and your positions and your conviction in your trade. So now we're starting to get a lot of sellers come in and push us down. We're not moving as fast as I want to, but the sentiment and my conviction is still the same because we're not running the highs of that previous green candle that I got stopped out on. We're keeping ourselves to the bottom end of the most recent bearish candle as well. So next candle is about to open. And I believe this is where the floodgates really start to come in here. Nice little test up. And you'll notice that top EMA is starting to curve over and curl itself down, as well as the middle EMA, telling us which direction the price is going. Again, even though this candle's pushing up a little bit, you can stay convicted. MACD line still separating, EMA's curving, not moving up on the volume profile. Don't get sketched out, guys. Immediate rejection back down into this range. You can sort of sit back and breathe easy on this one. Nice push down. Notice that the take profit is resting right on top of that EMA that I want to test, which also happens to be in the middle of the most recent imbalance that has not been touched. Or retested, I should say. Nice bearish open on the next candle. Can stay calm because it's totally normal to retest that top of the range to make sure we're going to push back lower. You'll notice just after the 830 where we test this high and have an immediate rejection, we're looking at some of the same. Thinking of moving my stop loss up here just because I don't want a random flash pump and then we push ourselves actually back down to where we should be. Sellers stuff it right there. A little bit of a frozen point in price action. Next candle's about to open. EMAs are still curling towards the downside. MACD line is still separating itself. Buyers are doing everything they can to push this back up, and they simply can't. Buyers are trapped. The sellers are just feeding this push down. Still sitting at the top here. Top of that range. We're within the range. Also on risk to reward, I would say this was probably a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Nothing crazy. Prepared to lose $100 on this to make 100, 150 depending on where I could. But now you'll notice sellers are coming in. Going to move our finger on the trigger here. There we go. Nice pump down. Next candle. Come up a little bit. Test that candle. That last wick. And there we go. So we're coming right into our take profit zone. We're going to end day right about here. And that's going to give us our total profits of $150 for the day. So thanks, guys. Let me know if I should do more of these, and I will see you in the next video.